Today we're talking about how my husband and I have grown our income over $500,000 in 5 years. Yo, that's crazy. $500,000 in 5 years. I am just blown away by this progress. And honestly, guys, I don't say this to brag. I say this as you can do it too. If you go back to my beginning videos on this channel from 6 years ago, you'll see I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was struggling. I was making like 30 grand a year and had $23,000 worth of student loan debt. And I was scared. I didn't know how to manage my money. I was not good with money at all. I had my car repossessed. I struggled. And we've learned how to break those bad habits and how to learn how to budget our money, learn how to grow our income, learn how to invest. It has been such a journey these past 5 years. And I want to share with you what we've done to grow our income over $500,000 in 5 years. Mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. So we're going to dig in. We're going to get personal, and hopefully I'm going to be able to give you some tips that you can use yourself to grow your income. First thing I want to cover is net worth. And so we have grown our net worth $500,000, like I said. Now, how net worth is calculated, I have a full spreadsheet if you guys want to use the same exact spreadsheet that we have, that we use to calculate our net worth. But your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth. So the money that you have minus the money that you owe is your net worth. And for us, the only debt that we have right now is our mortgage. So we do still have a mortgage payment. This next year, we will probably be taking on another mortgage payment as we get an investment property, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, the only debt that we have is our mortgage. So we calculate our net worth, we calculate our investments, our cash, our different accounts that we have, different brokerage accounts that we have, our index funds, all of that. And we take that and then we minus our debt, and that is how we calculate our net worth. We have tracked it every single month throughout the years, and like I said, it's going $500,000, which is amazing. So definitely check out the spreadsheet down below in the description box if you want to get that. I love that tool. I love that it does all the formulas for you, and you can see the growth that you've had, which is incredible. First thing that we did when growing our net worth is paying off our debt. Now, we have paid off our debt 5 years ago? No, 4 years ago? 4 or 5? 2017, whenever, however many years. That was coming up on 5 years. So we 5 years this spring, which is crazy. And so we paid off all of our debt and all of my student loans. And so that way we can focus on building wealth. Now, with that being said, I do have a regret. I do wish that we had invested while we were paying off debt. And I was so focused on paying off debt, paying off debt, paying off debt, and then building a emergency fund and saving for that, saving for a wedding, and putting all of my focus on those, where I wish I would have put $50 a month, $25 a month into index funds or into a brokerage account and started building up that wealth that way. Because honestly, that wouldn't have made a big difference, but in the market, it would have made a big difference. And over time, the compound interest would have made a huge difference. So that is one thing that I regret doing, but it is what it is. But we paid off all of our debt so that we could focus solely on our other goals and really build wealth. Where when we still had debt payments, it was weighing us down. Now, one thing that has just been huge and a really big aha moment for me and my husband was when we were paying off debt, we put $500 towards our student loans, my student loans, and our net worth would grow a little bit. It would grow like 400 whatever dollars because of interest that you had to pay, right? So it grew a little bit. But we put $500, the same $500 into the market, and it's crazy the growth that we're able to get because of the market and because of compound interest and because of how things grow and compound over time. We may not see it right the next month in our net worth increase, but we're going to see it big time. And we really noticed that we were able to build wealth so much faster when we started investing than when I was paying off debt. And it's just mind-blowing to me of just how fast it is. Like when I do our net worth updates every month, I'm like, holy cow, this is insane. And it's so cool just to see that growth every single month from our investments, which we didn't see that with our debt payoff. So that's been really exciting. Now, if you do want to get started investing, if you're scared about investing, I get it. I talked about before that I wish that I was investing while I was paying off debt. But even more so than that, I wish I was educating myself. I waited until I was ready to start investing to learn about investing. I should have been learning about it way in advance and reading books, watching YouTube videos, taking courses, different things like that to learn about it versus waiting until I was ready and then having to learn about it and being like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and having to push back starting investing because I wanted to be educated in it. So start learning about investing now. If you're not investing, start now. Keep on watching videos. This is something that I tell my friends and my coworkers all the time when they come to me like, I don't understand investing. It's scary. It's intimidating. I don't get it. Can you help me? And I'm like, start watching videos. Start learning. Start hearing the terms. You're going to hear them over and over and over again. And the more you hear them, the more it's going to click. I have a full series on investing for beginners. What's a dividend? What's this? What's this? All this stuff for beginners. Definitely check that out. And then I also partner with my friend Jeremy with Personal Finance Club, and he has a course on investing, a course on index funds and how he's been able to build his wealth to over $5 million with index funds, which is just mind-blowing. So definitely check it out. I'll have it linked down below in the description box, both of them in the description box. But it's crazy how much faster you can build wealth when you're investing versus just paying off debt and just saving. So investing has been a huge, huge part in how we've been able to grow our net worth to over $500,000. The next thing that we did to grow our net worth is we lived on less than 50% of our income. And we really focused on cutting our expenses, living on less than we needed to so that we could put the rest towards our goals, towards our savings goals, towards buying a house, towards investing, towards whatever thing we're working on at that time. So living on below your means, living on one income or 50% of your income is a really great way to really set yourself up. And one way that we did that is we put our raises and our bonuses and our extra income that we got to our goals versus spending them. We didn't fall into lifestyle creep. It is so easy to fall into lifestyle creep, but we really, really fought it. For instance, this past year, Jamie got a bonus from his work around $1,000 after taxes. Then he got a pretty nice pay raise. Let's be honest. It was a pretty good pay raise. And we had a talk and we're like, all right, what are we going to do with this extra money? How are we going to handle this? And we decided that he could spend his bonus, his $1,000 on whatever he wanted. He could splurge, he could do whatever. He has been working 18-hour days. He has earned this. He has worked his butt off. And he can spend that bonus on anything. But the raise that he got, that we don't change. That we don't touch. That just goes directly towards our goals. We are keeping the same exact lifestyle that we've had and just putting that directly to our goals. So it is increasing our savings rate. So our savings rate was about 50%, and it's typically, depending on the month, because our income fluctuates, typically is between 50 and 65%. So with that, we're able to raise our savings rate and not fall into lifestyle creep. I have had so many coworkers that they get a promotion, they get a good bonus, they get a pay raise that's significant. And what do? I just bought a new BMW. I just bought this. I just got this. Seriously? Like, you just put your whole raise to a new car payment. That's lifestyle creep. Or, you know what? Now we can start going out, 3 times a week when we were only going out on date night once a week. We can start. I don't need to meal prep anymore. I don't need to cook at home. Y'all, I just got this pay raise. I don't need to cook at home now. I can eat out. I can get lunches out every single day now. That's lifestyle creep. It happens. It's easy. And it's really, really hard when your coworkers, when your friends, when your family members are making comments. That's when it's tough, guys. That's when it's so hard. And you have to put your ego aside, because they're like, oh, what are you, too cheap? Oh, did your wife say that's in the budget? Do you know how often Jamie's coworkers ask him if that's in the budget, if his wife will let him do it? Okay, maybe they're making fun of him. Maybe they're teasing him. But when we look at the progress that we've made financially and the progress that they've made financially and the things that we've been able to pay cash for and the vacations and trips that they've had to put on a credit card, yeah, it's apples and oranges. You can't even compare it. So yeah, they may tease you. Yeah, they may be in your ear and bugging you and putting thoughts in your head of, you know what, maybe I am being too cheap. Maybe I am being too frugal. When we calculate our net worth at the end of the year, Jamie was like, okay, babe, you're right. Yeah, there were some times where I didn't like eating at home and I was sick of this or whatever, but I'm so thankful that we did, because that $50 that we could have spent on date night, we put into VTSAX and we were able to grow our income and have compound interest. So compound growth in the market. So trust me, lifestyle creep sucks and it's so easy to fall into, but we really, really, really push hard not to fall into lifestyle creep. Next thing that we did to grow our net worth is we bought a house, and we got some slack for buying a house. We had family members that as soon as we got married, when are you buying a house? When are you gonna buy a house? When are you gonna buy a house? I'm like, we are not ready to buy a house financially. And I'm really glad that we waited when we did. Now, we did buy a house sooner than some people would have liked us to buy a house. We only put 10% down, so therefore we had to pay PMI, and we didn't put a full 20% down. That was a personal decision that we made, and honestly, I'm so thankful that we made that decision and bought when we did, because number one, the market, we didn't know that the market was going to do what it did. We have built so much wealth from our house, and the growth of our house, the value of our house has gone up. We bought our house for $372,500. And I think right now it's worth $510,000. Yeah, that's crazy. So the growth in our house, and we also made sure that we had an emergency fund. We had about 4 months savings of emergency before we bought the house. I know so many people that save for just the down payment, just the closing costs, and buy the house and have no money. Or they come to me, they're so excited, they're ready to buy a house. Kelly, I'm so pumped, I'm ready to buy. Oh yeah, awesome. What do you have you have an emergency fund? I mean, I have $1,000. No. You need to have at least 3 months worth of expenses if you're buying a house, in my personal opinion. Especially living in Florida. What if your AC breaks? If your AC breaks, it's not an inconvenience. It's not like, oh, it's hot in here. Your AC breaks, you got mold within a week because it's so hot here. You get a roof leak, you get mold. And there's so many things that happen that are emergencies. And you want to have that cash on hand and not use a credit card as an emergency. We are pro credit cards. We use credit cards for every single purchase that we make, but we pay them off every month. We don't use a credit card as an emergency fund. That is one of my biggest pet peeves in the personal finance space, is a credit card as an emergency fund. To me, that's 1,000% marketing on Visa, on American Express, on MasterCard, because then if you have an emergency and you are using your credit card as an emergency, like they tell teenagers to do, don't get me started, then you're paying 20-something% interest on top of that. An emergency is already stressful enough. You don't want to have to pay interest on top of that. No, you want to have cash on hand. Yes, you're not going to get as much growth in the market if you had that cash on hand. So you have $20,000, $30,000 of cash sitting in an account. You'd be getting a lot higher in returns, but I'd rather have that cash on hand than have to pay the 20 whatever percent interest on a credit card. That's my personal beliefs. I know that some people differ, but personal finance is personal. And we bought a house, and that is a great way that we have been able to grow our net worth and invest in real estate and have this real estate. We're also buying a rental property. We're going to be buying a real estate property hopefully this year, God willing, and depending on the market and what's going on with the market. We were going to buy last year, but the market was not doing well, right? The houses of price skyrocketed right when we were ready to buy. So we put it on pause, and that is another great way that we're going to build wealth, is by doing investment properties. We're going to be doing short-term rentals, Airbnbs, but we'll also run the numbers in case for some reason they can't be a short-term rental anymore, if they will still work as a long-term rental. So that is a huge, huge, huge goal and accomplishment that we have both had. Next thing we did to build our net worth is we focused on growing our income outside of our day jobs, or at least I did. I really focused on building a business, and I've made this past year $54,000 on YouTube, and I have a full breakdown video if you guys want a full breakdown. And this year, my goal is $100,000 in my business. But we really focused on growing the business and learning what I could about this. Now, there's a quote that has really stuck out to me. I still work a 9 to 5. I still put so much time and energy into my 9 to 5, and I have to build my business at night. So, which is exhausting, especially when you're pregnant. But I work probably 2 to 3 hours a day on my business, and it's made me over $50,000. And there's this quote that really, really like hit home to me. And I'm like, oh, this means business. And the quote is, salaries are bribes companies pay their employees so that they can forget their dreams. Woo! That is, yeah, that's crazy. That resonates to me so much. And so I have really focused on building my business. Now, Jamie has done the opposite. He has really focused on building his career, and he has grown his income very greatly. He's grown his income big time, but he's busted his butt. He has worked. He has made a name in his industry. There's people in his industry. He's a lighting designer, does shows, concerts, all that, fun stuff with lighting. Not like lighting like house lights, but lighting of corporate events, big lighting stuff, rigs, LED walls, all that stuff. And he has made a name for himself in his industry. People know his name, which is so cool, but he has really busted his butt. So I really busted my butt in my business, and he's really busted his butt to grow his income in his career. So that is something that we've really focused on to increase our net worth. We make, oh gosh, I don't even know how many times, several times the amount that I made when I first started my channel. Like, it's mind-blowing to me when I think about how I was living off of $30-something thousand when I started my channel, and now the income that we have. But like I said, we haven't fallen into the lifestyle creep, which is so awesome. Next thing that we've done is we've invested in education. I have spent so much money on courses, on conferences, on business coach, on books, different things that I've done to learn how to grow my income, to learn how to do what I can do to build it up and to build a business and to make it sustainable, to scale. And it's been incredible of learning all of these things. I am not the biggest fan of traditional education, traditional college, but the wealth that is out there, the wealth of information that's out there is incredible. And we have really invested a lot of money into business coaches and courses, different things like that. I personally created my own course to teach people how I've been able to make more money in my side hustle YouTube channel than my day job, and how I make over $5,000 a month doing it. So if that's something that interests you, I'll have a link down below to my course, Dreamer to Profitable. And I've also invested in courses like the course with Jeremy that I'm doing with him, and the webinar that we're doing, and where we can share about index funds, and he can teach people about index funds. And that's a way that you can build your wealth. So you invest a little bit of money to build your wealth over huge amounts, and it's all condensed in one space versus having to read like every single book there is on index funds. It's all in one place, and it's condensed, and it's in normal people terms. So education is a really great way to grow your knowledge, to grow your ways of increasing your income. The next thing that we've done is we have really worked hard on checking in with each other, checking in with our goals, and saying, all right, where are we at? Where are we at on hitting this goal? Do we need to cut back a little bit? Are we on course? What's going on? Also, where are you mentally? Are you struggling? Are you feeling deprived? Are you, I'm a saver and Jamie's a spender. And so it's so easy for me to go. And then I have to check in with him, and he's like, babe, like, I need to, can we go on a vacation? Like, I need some time. Can we go on date night? Can we eat out a little bit more? And checking in with each other, checking in with your goals is so important to just keep yourself on track so you don't get burnt out, but you're also making the progress. And if we're checking in with our goals and we're not where we need to be, we're not where we said we wanted to be, then be like, okay, let's check in. Let's up the ante a little bit. So that's been huge in helping us to reach our net worth. Let's keep the conversation going. If you want to know how I've made over $50,000 on YouTube in 2021, check out this video here. And if you want some tea on why I stopped following Dave Ramsey, yep, I started as a Dave Ramsey channel, if you didn't know that. Why I stopped following Dave Ramsey, check out this video here.